Hello YouTube, welcome to the channel. Hope you have subscribed already. You can expect a new video here at Wayne's World of Mandolin every week. Also, if there's a particular topic you'd like to hear me cover, you can drop that in the comments and I'll try to get to it. I do these videos in batches, sometimes up to 10 or 12 of them at a time. And at this particular time, I'm ready to look into brainstorming for what the next batch will be. And trying to get feedback from you guys is something that I haven't really reached out. There were so many videos that I had in mind when the channel started. And at this point, I think we have 50 uploads on here. So a lot of what I had in mind just to get going, I feel like I've covered. And it'd be great to just get feedback on what you guys would like to see happen with the channel. But anyway, if you want some one-on-one Skype sessions, you'll always find a good email on me in the description of each video. Today is Eat Your Vegetables Day, and I struggled with what to even call this video because it could provide so many things for your playing. It could make a great warm-up. It's like an arpeggio exercise and at the same time a chord scale exercise. There's a lot of good that can come from this. And what I'm going to do is play a C chord scale. If you're not following along with that concept, it might be a good idea to check out a video that I have about the chord scale. And if you're not aware of it, that's kind of how the channel works. Something that I mention, if I know that there's content on here that's going to bring you up to speed on that, then I really don't go into a lot of detail with that because I try to limit the length of the videos. But anyway, what's going to happen today is that we're going to play those chords like 2 octaves of each arpeggio. But instead of this being as cut and dried and everything being closed position, we're kind of stepping away from that and using some open string ideas and that kind of thing so that we're shifting and we're seeing different shapes, particularly the ring finger. If you're playing this arpeggio and you're used to your ring finger here on the root note, you might also be familiar with playing from this position. So that's what we're going to do, is join those 2 shapes. Now in arpeggio, I'm just playing the notes of the chord. That's a C major. So I have the root note of C, then a 3rd scale degree, 1, 2, 3, up to that E note, then the 5th here, then I'm back to the root. Notice what I did there. I shifted. I moved my index finger to the 3rd fret of the A string so that I'm in a healthy position to play those same notes an octave higher. So this is very exercisey, if you wanted to put it that way, but when you're playing, those thoughts, you're not going to get to that point if you can't do this. So we're going to do that for every chord of the C chord scale, and I'm going to start. Because I love this, I like to see everyone become really aware of those 2 things, where the ring finger is covering the root note, and then the index finger, and the pinky also. But those 2 shapes are so important to the world of playing mandolin and knowing the fretboard. So the next chord is a D minor. That's what we would play. Again, we're going to build that shift in. There's the root, the minor 3rd, the 5th, shift up to the root, 5th fret of the A string, then minor 3rd, 5, root. Moving on, the next chord being an E minor. So we can take that same block of information and just move it up a whole step. But as we do that, it's going to really be great if you begin to be aware of the fact that the root of E, then the minor third is a G note. The fifth is a B note. Back to the root of E, that's where we've shifted to your index finger over the root note. Root here, G note for the minor third, B note for the fifth, up to an E. So as you can see, this is going to really reinforce your note identification on the fretboard that needs to be really solid. There's also a video up titled that, Note Identification, that doesn't really talk about it in terms of chords or anything. It's just a great exercise to work on memorizing the notes. I would recommend checking that out if you're struggling with knowing where the notes are. Moving on, we're up to the fourth chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's a major chord again. We're going to have a major third on this F. Doing the same thing, use the inlay pattern. When you play an F major, you're in this position on the fretboard. Look at those two dots, the 7th fret and the 10th fret. The 10th fret of the G is an F note. Then we have the major third here. That's what the inlay pattern is for. So you see those two notes. There's your root, third, fifth. Again, building a shift into that shape. Okay, at this point, we just got to the 13th fret. Most of the fretboard studies that I do, I don't really go past the 12th fret a lot. So at this point, also I want to incorporate some open notes that we kind of get that mentality going, that not all of this world is going to be closed positions that you can just move around. So now we're up to a G chord. I'm just going to go back to first position. You could have played this shape plenty of times, and look, there it is. Root note, major third, and then the fifth. Back to G, then we have gravy again. That closed position with the ring finger covering the root. Okay, the next chord, the relative minor, the A minor chord. Once again, I'm going to use open intervals instead of the up to here, the slide built in or whatever. I'm going to play an open A string. Kind of customize that shape to first position. Again, not using open notes. So now we're going to do, using the open intervals instead of closed position. So now we're up to the 7th chord. This is the half diminished. So we're going to start on the B note, first position, and then shift down to that F note. There's our first octave. There's the half diminished arpeggio. Again, watch that shift. The same finger that I'm using, this is really important, not just for this shape, but any art. If you're playing in first position, like there, instead of F, playing out of that shape up here, there I have the open notes. So when I'm learning that arpeggio in first position, I can play it with these two fingers instead of here. It's the same thing that I'm doing on this B half diminished. And that pulls us right back to C, right back where we started. So this exercise is going to sound something like this. I'm going to try to make it musical and make it flow. I'm going to play some slides. Great eat your vegetable stuff. This could be a warm-up to get yourself started that reinforces these chords because it's bigger than this exercise. It's going to promote that movement on the fretboard, playing all of the mandolin, accessing those higher notes, part of the reason that we fall in love with the mandolin in the first place. And it's also going to make more awareness for what the potential modes of the scale are, because any of these chords could be the tonal center of this scale. But stick to it as an exercise and see if it doesn't make a difference in your movement on the fretboard and the confidence that you move around with. Take this same exact thing. Here's what you want to do. Transpose this, like learn it in B flat. Figure the intervals out where healthy shifts would be. You don't have to start on the lowest interval, or you don't have to start on the root chord. If I was going to play this in, if I was playing in D, I probably want to start with a G arpeggio and go from that position. This is what it takes to study the fretboard and learn to transpose this and realize the magnitude of this knowledge, because it really makes a difference. Good luck, guys.